All right. Playing the intro. You ready, Paul?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Six Nuts podcast. We are three comedians, Six Nuts, and I'm being very quiet because, well, it's the morning after the night before. It is Paul Bourgon's birthday. Happy birthday,
Thank you very
Paul
much.
Bourgon, and he's feeling it. So we're going to try and keep it really quiet for Paul.
You,
So it's episode 29.
You don't have to keep quiet. Look, and this, I'm telling you, I don't get hungover. I've been hungover maybe twice in my life. Like, for real. I just don't get hungover. Like, I could drink a 40 of vodka, and I wake up the next day. I don't get headaches. I don't get sick. And you think that that's a superpower, but it's like, it's not good. Like, there's nothing to throttle you, you know what I mean? But
well,
just,
welcome.
you know.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Episode 29 of the Six Nuts podcast. We are three comedians, or maybe today 2.5, because Paul is hurting, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. It's his birthday today. Today is actually his birthday. And Paul, if you have the sound on, we got something very, very special for you, man.
Okay, well, I'll tell you if I can hear it or not.
All right. Well, let me play. Okay, here we go. I'll play it, and hopefully you can hear it.
Can't hear anything. Are you playing something? I can't hear it.
Oh, it's too bad. You'll hear it when you watch it back, but that was a happy birthday. Should we tell them what it is, or should we wait?
No, don't tell me. Let me.
All right, well, we'll let you wait.
Let me find out.
It's a
we worked so hard on it to get in tune and everything.
You bastards. You bastards.
Anyway, happy birthday, Paul Bourgon. I'm not going to ask you how old you are because I know
43.
That's rude. You're
43 years old.
43 years. Tell us we know what you did last night, but tell us what you have planned for the big day today. Any big plans?
Not much. I might read the Bible. But I didn't really have anything planned. Once you get a little older, right? It's like it's an inconvenience to others, you know. Like even last night when my cousins and my buddy Macca came out, like I must have thanked them like 10 times. Like seriously, guys, like thank you, you know. Because you wouldn't necessarily go out for dinner, then go down to Cultures, then go and play pool, and you know what I mean. Like it felt like it was all for me, and I don't like that kind of thing, you know.
Oh, I'm sure they would have any time, man. Like Mac is a good dude for sure.
For me, you know what I mean? Like when I'm the topic, you know. Like I just it's weird, you know. Like
it's awkward.
You get up on stage and get everybody to look at you, but I don't know. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
I completely understand that. That's why, like, I think the past 3 birthdays in a row, I've booked a show so that way nobody can plan anything, and that way, that's it. Like, if you want to, that's the attention I need is when I'm on stage, and then leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of like messed up? I'm telling you, like, when I have a show, like a day of a show, I think I've told you this guy before. I don't check my phone. Like I don't even want to check my phone. It's like when you don't want to eat, you know, like if you're nervous for something and you don't like, I know I should eat, but I don't feel like it, you know, like call it nerves or whatever. But it's weird, you know, like normally you're just like, where's my phone every 5 minutes?
Yep.
You know, and I don't look at my phone. I don't want to see people, you know what I mean? I kind of like, I don't know.
Well, when you get to my age, you wish each other happy birthday by Facebook, and that's about it. I mean, if there's no Facebook notification, I might forget my wife's, and that would be bad. So let's get right into it, man. Paul, you can sit this one. No, you can't sit this one out. I don't care if you're hungover. You got to participate in a segment we call
Hold My Beer.
Buddy.
Hold My Beer.
All right. Hold My Beer segment where we go around the virtual room and share our beverage of choice for this episode. And if it's tea, you will get mocked until you die. if you're hungover, you got to suck it up and you got to do it, man. So since it's Paul's birthday, I'll give you the first right of refusal.
Well,
you want to go first or
get it over with? Excuse me.
And by the way, what's with the name Navin Johnson? What the hell is that? What's with the name, man?
So there's a Steve Martin movie called The Jerk.
Oh yeah.
And his name was Navin Johnson in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a classic movie, you know. And when I was in grade 10, I went to Notre Dame High School, and we had bus passes. Back in the day, so the bus pass was this plastic thing you like fold up and flash to the bus, and the top part was your picture and ID, and the bottom part was your monthly piece of paper that you get, right? And the beginning of the year, I signed my name Navin Johnson, in my signature, and I had my bus pass on the table one day, and my mom picked it up one day. She's like, "What is this, Navin Johnson?" And she clued in and just burst out laughing. And she kept it to this day. She has it in her wallet, with pictures of my brother and sister and the grandkids and stuff.
That's amazing.
This is my son, you know, grade 10, Navin Johnson.
That's brilliant, man. Yeah,
The Jerk. It's very fitting. Anyway, in spirit of Jordan's, continuous, efforts to surprise us with new and beers that we've never seen before. I can't even fucking talk. Cracked Canoe.
Yeah.
Oh, Cracked Canoe.
All right.
Yeah. It was actually on an angle, and I just thought it said crack, and I was just like, "Give me that."
I want a bottle of crack.
Cracked Canoe. I've never had it before, but we'll give it a whirl. See you later, reality. Talk to you on Monday. It's watery.
Water. All right. So rating, man.
I'm great. I'll be fine.
What's your rating out of 10?
I give it a just for how I'm feeling right now. Remember when Alex Cunningham, had a fin du monde?
Yeah.
Fin du monde.
Way to set the tone, eh?
Yeah.
Because it's a lighter beer, I give it a 7.553.
Nice. I like those numbers. I like numbers with lots of crooked numbers. So 7.553. Jordan, if you don't mind, I'll go next because I want to piggyback on that the bus pass story, because you got me thinking. When we were kids, I had two sisters and we used to go to the same school, ride the OC Transpo bus. And a lot of days I would forget mine. So we're at the bus stop. I was like, oh shit, I forgot my bus pass. Couldn't go home to get it. So my sister would go up and I'd be behind my sister. She'd go up and flash her pass and go like she's putting it in her back pocket. And I would take it and flash it, and the guy would let me on.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knew what we were doing, but he let me on.
Back in the day, when it was like $1.75 to get on the bus. Like, how many times did I forget my bus pass? And because you see the same bus drivers every morning, you get on, you're just like, you go like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Get up, cool. You know?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I got a King's Lock. It's not a beer, but it's a King's Lock rum and lime hard seltzer.
Attaboy, Dave.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to crack this open and have a sip. Happy birthday to Paul, man.
I can't wait to see what Jordan's drinking. Yeah.
All right, Jordan, over to
Rusty.
Over to you, man.
Hey? Yeah.
I got coffee. No, I'm just fucking kidding. I got the Super Sunset.
Look at this, man.
Fuck
yeah.
He takes it to another level every single time.
He ones ups us.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I have help. I can't take credit for it all.
One upper.
Yeah.
Jordan's theme music should be like in Super Mario.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
A rating?
Birthdays suck, eh? Like, I'm 43 today, and all I can think about is I'm pretty much 44.
Oh, pretty much. It's over. It's my packet.
44. Like, for Christ's sake. 44 years
old.
old, body like an 80-year-old, mind like a 10-year-old.
Perfect combo, man.
Yeah.
So what, Jordan? Give us a rating, and then we will move on from holding.
All right, it's kind of fruity, so I'm gonna give it like a 4.1567.
Oh fuck, I love it, man. I'm actually a little aroused right now by that number. Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right. And Paul, you're still with us. Good. So that brings an end to
I did just zone out there.
You did zone out.
Yeah. I was thinking about adding up all of our numbers to see, you know, like some people
The
are really
total score.
Yeah.
Do it tomorrow, man. Do it tomorrow. So that was a segment we call Hold My Beer. All right, we got to get a little serious here for a second. I got a rant. I'm going to put myself on solo mode, so Paul, you can have a little nap while I do this. But God. I got something I got to get off my chest. So here we go. Last week, I was performing at an open mic when I suddenly found myself face to face with a guy who was really pissed off about something I said. Him, this Lebanese guy here saying praise Allah made me disrespectful and a fucking racist. So he felt the need to come up on stage and tell me. Now, trust me, this is not the first time that somebody didn't like what I said on stage, but it actually was the first time that anyone got physically up in my face about it. So after a few words were exchanged, he was escorted out, but not before he shared his drink with me by throwing it in my face. I found out later that he was so mad that he and 3 of his buddies were waiting outside for me to do God knows what. I'm sure it wasn't to give me hugs. Anyway, they were told to leave, which they did, and nothing else happened that night. But let me say this. I appreciate everyone that comes out to support live comedy. I really do. And 99% of people who go to shows are respectful and understand how to conduct themselves. But it seems like more and more people think it's their place to interrupt the show just to let everyone know that they've had their feelings hurt. Well, when you do that, you ruin the show for the rest of us. You ruin it for the venue, the performer, and the audience. So to that guy and those people, I'll let you in on a little secret. We're not out to intentionally offend anyone. Not you, not anybody. And if we were, trust me, we wouldn't be comedians for very long. Like, if someone spits in your face, did they make you mad? No, they made you wet. You made the decision to get mad. We're comedians. We tell and write jokes. We want people to laugh. We want everyone there to laugh, to have a good time, forget their troubles for a couple of hours. That's it. That's our goal. So the bottom line is this. The next time you or anybody else like you are at a comedy show and you get so offended that you feel an overwhelming and uncontrollable urge to rush the stage and be a complete asshole, please do the rest of us a favor. Find the nearest exit door and leave. Or better yet, don't bother coming at all. Cheers. That's all I got to say. I had to get that off my chest. Gentlemen, feel free to chime in.
Glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm glad you weren't there either, because that was something that I mentioned. If Paul was here, he would have broke that guy. I don't like how I don't like how people have gotten comfortable since the whole Will Smith Chris Rock incident. Bingo. To think it's okay to approach comics on stages because you don't like what's being said or tossing things at people on stage. I've had somebody try to charge the stage, and it's great when you have that kind of support from people to kind of try their best to de-escalate a situation, but that situation shouldn't be there in the first place. You shouldn't be coming at people like that. Like, your feelings were hurt. If you don't like it, just go. And if it's something that's said that, you know, a majority of people aren't going to like, and it is going to hurt feelings, and it is rude, and that comic is just not reading the room right, the audience is going to let that comic know that what they said wasn't appropriate, and they're not all going to rush the stage at once. Okay, like that's not an appropriate response. So,
well, you know what? I was fine. Like, well, it's not cool to do that. I mean, it's complete BS. And if it's one guy, fine. But when I heard that there's like 4 of them waiting out there to beat the shit out of me, that kind of takes it to a whole new level. Like, you guys, there must be something really wrong with you guys. If you're that mad that you're going to sit outside, you're going to wait outside a restaurant for one guy to come out and you're going to beat the shit out of him for saying praise Allah.
I'll say it right now. Like, I was sitting down. It was It was my open mic, right? And I get a lot of people during the show who haven't performed for the first time ever, who want to ask questions. So I thought this gentleman who came up to me, he's not a gentleman, he's a fucking prick, came up to me and asked if he could talk to me to the side because he had some questions. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. He shook my hand, we walked, and he goes, if we can come downstairs because it's loud. And it was, to be fair, it was loud upstairs at that time. There was a lot of people upstairs. So I go downstairs, and then he grabs me by the arm, he brings me outside. And that's when there's 3 other guys out there. And the guy who came up on the stage goes, that's not him. And at that point, I lost my shit. Okay. So I had some words to say. There was staff that came out. Basically, we told them all to go home. And that's when I went up to Dave and said, you can't go yet. Like, because you were only planning on staying for your set. And you were going to go home. It was a late night, right? Like, everybody worked Friday.
Yeah, do a video. And
yeah, we have other stuff that's going on. You were gonna do the video for Friday and all that, and you had to end up staying the whole night because a bunch of idiots outside. So not cool. Not cool.
It's the next level. I mean, the guy who came on stage, from what you just said, Jordan, he was waiting outside. So he got his buddy to go and get you, which was supposed to be me, and bring me outside and like do whatever the fuck they were gonna do. Like, that's talk about premeditation, man. Like,
yeah, they were ready to jump you. They were ready to throw hands at me before the guy said that's not him. Like,
that's ridiculous, man. Like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like I know people just get so offended, man. You know, like you could go around getting offended 100 times a day. Like I say, if I spit in your face, man, I didn't make you mad. I made you wet.
Let me say something here, guys.
Yeah, please.
And I when you told me this last night, look, I know how this will sound if you're watching this and you're hearing me say what I'm about to say. I gotta understand the optics of it, but before I got into comedy, okay, I never knew that there were people out there, whether they're comics or people in the crowd. I mean, like, here, I should rephrase that. I didn't know there are such sour, like bullies, like that just want to see you fail, and they base their opinion on you on what they see, not what they know. And I can vouch for the two of you. I've done this before. I mean it when I say it. Like, I have a tolerance level that still to this day amazes me. When people try to bully me, or people try to like talk down to me, or people try to whatever, like treat me unfairly. There's an element of respect in my world personally that I value more than anything. It would keep me up if someone came up to me and said, "Hey man, I don't really like the way you spoke to me there," or "Hey man, you know, like you didn't really give them a time." Like, if when your buddy introduces you to his friend, and the guy's like on his phone and he's like, yeah, nice to meet you, and like doesn't really care, instead of like, oh hey, how are you, and stand up to greet someone. Like, I'm just saying, it'd give me anxiety if I made someone feel shitty. So for someone to come up to you and get in your face and get pissed off at you for whatever, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it amazes me in the sense that if you only knew how much I didn't mean to do what you, there's a misunderstanding here. And I'll get to the point. When it's me, you two know, I can put up with enough stuff, but when it comes to my friends, I have a very short fuse for that sort of thing. And diplomatically, I'll say it's good that I wasn't there last night, but bluntly, I wouldn't have tolerated that. You know, that guy at that show that one time, that drunk guy. Now, whether it's drugs, alcohol, whatever you are, if you're just a dick, some people want to seek trouble. Some people, like that's how they get to know you. That they want to fight, and you know, like, some people, that's how they see eye to eye with other people. They're looking for that kind of trouble. You know, there's a line in one of the Matrix movies where a guy says, "You never truly know someone until you fight them." Here's the difference. Some guys that like to brawl and scrap and get in people's faces and talk down to them and make them feel shitty, or for whatever misunderstanding. Because Dave, if they only knew you, they'd know you have a heart. and you are similar to me in that sense, and Jordan, where you don't want to hurt anybody. For them to do that, it's the feeling of it is, it's like you're offended, but you want to defend yourself, but at the same time, you like, how far do I have to go to convince this person? The shit that I personally put up with. Here's the point, guys. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of the fucking negativity. I'm sick of the cliques. I'm sick of the shit talking behind people's backs. I'm sick of the attitude. Like, it's not like I'm like, that's it. Like, you know, like I'm at my last straw. But hey, man, that's comedy. If that's comedy, guess what? It's gonna change. Okay. And I'm not saying I'm going to start fucking getting into people's faces, but that kind of stuff is intolerable. You know, people doing that. If you have a problem with somebody, you get in someone's face, fine. You throw a fucking drink in a comedian's face. Like, how did that guy not know that you were like a 3rd degree black belt in fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something? Like, how did he not know that?
He didn't care.
Yeah, but Jordan, this guy that like wanted to like fight. People think that, like, okay, let's fight, get on the ground, wrestle, punch you in the face, rip your clothes, your bloody lip, or your nose bleeding. But some people, if you do that with them, they'll paralyze you, like, in so many different ways. They'll have to choose which way to not put you in the fucking hospital and change your life. Trust me, I've done martial arts for all my life, okay? And I know guys where I'm like, nope, I'd rather fight a pissed off bull than that guy. He's 5'9", and he's been training for longer than me. And he, like, absolutely not would I want to fight that guy, because he'd fucking kill me. And I'm pretty confident with that kind of stuff. But it's the last thing you want to do, you know. And when it comes to my friends, you know, family, whoever, my fuse is a little bit shorter with that. And I'm just sick of it. You know what I mean? Like, people treating other people shitty because they've seen you up on stage, they've seen your act, but they've never actually introduced themselves. How many of these comics have we actually never had a conversation with, but they treat you like shit? And it's just how they are. And their friends that they're with. Anyway, I'll get to the end of it. It's a sign, when people treat other people like that, it's a sign of either low self-esteem, okay, a lack of respect, lack of integrity, lack of confidence. Those things are hard to like get mad at with someone when you see that in someone. Integrity with somebody, like giving a shit. Imagine getting ripped on Facebook about your act by people, or ripped on at a show and you're not even there. Like, who would do that? Who would add that to their 7-minute bit to make fun or hurt someone else's feelings? You know, oh, it's all comedy, it's a joke. But like, God, like,
yeah, well, this guy
doing, man. Sorry to take so long, but like, it just, I thought I thought about it after we left. I was talking about it when we were playing pool. I was like, even my cousin Colin, who you thought was gorgeous, he's like, it's good that you weren't there, you know. And like, again, I'm not fucking Brock Lesnar or anything like that, but look, just like, okay. I
will say that this guy, I'm convinced this has nothing to do with comedy. Because he looked to me like a Lebanese guy, and I think he said he was Lebanese. I didn't see the other 3 guys, whether they were Lebanese or not, but the guy who was in my face was Lebanese, and he got mad at Praise Allah. And the day before, a day or two before that night, Israel had just bombed the shit out of Lebanon. Like, there's a lot of shit going on in Lebanon, right? Yeah. They're getting just bombarded by Israel. So I'm convinced that this was this was something political. It was beyond comedy.
And what are you doing going to a comedy show?
Well, if you had seen the look in the guy's eyes, like, he was fucking psycho, man. Like there was something else behind. It wasn't just, oh, I'm mad at the joke. There was something really political going on, it's the way society is today. It's like, if you think about society, it's a fucking scary place, because you don't know if you're going to turn your pager on, you're going to get fucking blown to smithereens. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much hate and division, and there was hate in that guy's eyes, man. I'm telling you, he was a fucking psycho.
That is right there what I mean about, like, you are sad. You've got trauma inside of you. Yeah. You have such a lack of self-confidence, and you have no respect, and ultimately you weren't brought up well to to get mad at something and approach it that way, to get up in someone's face. Like, did he like, forgive me for saying it this way, using this as an example, like, but did he rape your sister in front of you? You know, did he kick your baby over a bridge? Like people want to drop the fucking gloves over a joke in a comedy club. Like, it's what we were talking about last week with the Jesus and the, like, Allah. Like, you make an Allah joke in the wrong spot, like, it's like going to England and Manchester and wearing a blue shirt, or like going to the, you know, the South Central and wearing a red shirt, you know, like with the bloods. People want to kill you over the stupidest things. It's just what my point is. Like, you better have your shoes tied tight and know who you're dealing with. If you're gonna fucking get in someone's face like that, like, you got some balls on you, man. You know.
And here's the thing, right? Because I immediately thought of you when this was going down, and I know you have a martial arts background. I have martial arts background, not as much as Paul does. Paul, you trained for a very long time.
Nowhere near as much as me, Jordan.
Not a chance. No. I mean,
but yeah, I but it's the understanding.
Yeah. So when he got in the guy's, when the guy got into Dave's face, you're trained in martial arts to be very disciplined. You're not going to strike first. There was a time where I would have just, as soon as I saw that, the fist would have been flying in his face. And the guy says to me, when I told him to get off the stage, he says to me, "Do you know who you're talking to?" And I'm like, "I don't give a fuck who I'm talking to. Like, I don't know you. You don't know me. You don't know who you're approaching somebody. And your first response is to get physical." If the guy came up to you, Paul, and was talking shit, like, he has no idea that you could do some serious damage.
I have no idea what he could do. But you tell right off the bat with people with their body language, with their, you know, throwing a drink in your face. Like, is that your first move? You know, that guy Dave at that open mic on Glee at that time, that drunk guy was heckling. Yeah. And I was just like, hey, I turned around and I'm like, hey man, just, you know, and he was so drunk that he, like, I could feel him fucking staring, like, through the back of my head, you know. And in the middle of the show, got up. Jordan, you weren't there, but this guy gets up and I'm sitting down, and he walks up and stands right, like, over top of me. He gets in my face in the middle like Chris Connolly's up to doing an act. And he gets him and he's like, "Do you know who the fuck I am? Don't tell me to shut up." And I'm like, like, what do I fucking do here? Like, Dave's first show here. Like, do I? Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was stuck. And then he did it again. And I mean, you saw it happen. Eh? Like, I basically stood up and interrupted the show, and fucking pointed at the guy and yelled at him, "Get your ass outside right now. Pay your fucking bill. Get your ass outside. I'll be waiting for you." He comes outside, he's drunk, eh? The server's like, please don't do anything. I'm like, I'm going to talk to him. But, you know, like, it's got to stop. He came out, he's like, "I'm a boxer. I boxed for fucking 10 years. I'm like, "Congratulations. You just told me how you fight, idiot." Yeah. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? That's and I'm not saying, like, okay, now my crane will counter your eagle claw. But it essentially is that for someone who has an understanding of, like, if you're a hockey player and you're really good with deking, like, a good defensive player will skate backwards, you know, and to counter that, like an uneducated hockey player, defensive, will just try to stop him. Or you're gonna get. But if you have an understanding of that, like, congratulations, man, you just told me how you fight, and I'm gonna take you to the ground and I'm gonna make you eat your fucking nose. But now, don't want to do that. None of us want to do that. No, you don't want to A, ruin your reputation at the club. B, give yourself a reputation of being a hothead, and fucking B, C, D, E, G, and F, beat the shit out of somebody. You know what I mean? You just don't want to do that over nothing. But man, well,
it doesn't solve anything. Like,
doesn't.
There's somebody who, like, said that I'm a coward and they want to kill me on the fucking stage. And there was a point where I had a very short fuse. Okay, and my resolution to solve it was violence. I was a small person, and it was just reactionary, and I'm not going to let somebody disrespect me like that, and I'm going to use that with violence. And it took, you know, basically martial arts and crap like that to just, you don't know what they're dealing with, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I'm not going to, like, outside of that, you don't talk to people like that. And to the person who said that shit on stage, don't talk to me like that. Like, if you can't say it to me in person.
Sucks. Hurting somebody. Sucks hurting someone's feelings. but it fucking sucks. Like, it's hearing the sound of an arm hyperextend and snap, hearing a shoulder crunch out of the body, hearing an ankle, like feeling it through your body, like it haunts your fucking nightmares.
Yeah.
I'm not boasting or anything, but Christ, I've been doing martial arts long enough, and it you don't get up after go, yeah, let's go to Denny's and get a grand slam. Like, you don't, like, I'm not like that. Some guys are, but like, I mean, the last real bad scraps I've been in, the last two, okay, like there's 3 or 4 fucking guys, and it didn't end well for a couple of them, you know, and the other 2, I managed to get my way out of it, but I got up and cried after, and like I got up and cried and went up to one of the guys. I was drunk. I went up to one of the guys that I just fucking melted, and I'm like, "Where's my flip flop?" He's like, "I don't know where your flip flops are, man." Like I was like, "I'm sorry." Like I immediately felt bad, like many times, like, and it's just it goes back to my point about like what we're doing. Get up on stage, tell people jokes, because like a lot of us have an insatiable urge to be liked and to make people happy, right? So like it's the complete opposite. Like, you don't go and try to make a room laugh and then go beat the shit out of the whole room. Like, what are you, fucking Charles Manson?
Well, the thing that stuck out to me when you were telling that story, Paul, about the guy at the Glebe, it was the Glebe Central Pub.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he later told you that his mother just died or something really bad happened in his life. So well, I mean, it's usually not your joke. It's always something behind or within that person that is compelling them to do this.
He was drunk, Dave. He was drunk.
And he was drunk.
And I mean, even that guy last night, okay, he's with 4 buddies.
I don't know if he was drunk.
He's got buddies. Like, he's got friends. They must
his friends were drunk.
Like, yeah. My mother used to always tell me this: try to find the good in people, and it'll make it so much easier to interact with them. You know what I mean? And I've always kept that in my mind, you know, like try to find the good people. And it ties into what I'm saying about like a lot of these comics that like just automatically don't like you and paint you with a brush because they see your act, but they've actually you never even introduced yourself to them. You never even talked to them, sat down. And like, trust me, like if you give me 5 minutes, you'll see that I'm not the person you think I am, but like, how far do I want to go to try to prove a point to a fucking dork? Fuck, the crack canoe's getting to me. But you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's just it really is sad, and it's like I said before, I didn't know that this business was as competitive and as you really got to kind of have your wits about you in more ways than one, like not just on stage but off stage too. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Because you don't go to a show. I mean, you've got your set list. You don't go to a show thinking, okay, what am I going to do if this guy gets into my face? How am I going to deal with it? How am I going to react?
That's not at all.
That's not what you're going to prep for. So like, but I don't know. Maybe we have to. Maybe we have to be ready.
That's
like,
what I'm saying to you guys. I'm saying, I'm like I'm not
fucking sad.
I'm very tolerant of it, but like myself, right? So to make a half an hour story short, I'm just glad I wasn't there last night, and I'm glad for myself, really, because again, you know, I don't want to go home after and be like, why did I do that? Fucking stupid, like, you know what I mean? Like, or something could happen to me. Could have fucking pulled out a knife. You better know how to use it, you know. But like,
yeah.
I'm just, you know, like I'm not trying to boast and make myself out to be like the Steven Seagal, fucking out for justice here, like Nico Toscani, you know. But it just it really does bother me, the mentality of people that because of their own issues, and you know, like maybe they're probably bullied and no friends. Like, I'm just guesstimating here. Like something occurred in your life where you grew up and you got a bit of confidence and you thought, okay, I'm gonna get a mic in my hand. And as soon as you get that mic in your hand, you think now that you can both, you can puff your chest out like a peacock, you know, and that like nobody's gonna fucking knock your teeth down your throat. Like it's a fine line, right? You draw it. Like somebody throwing a beer in your face and waiting outside after.
Yeah, and it seems like
I wonder
that
if
one
I
was
could, I wonder
political.
if I could kick your ass. Like there's a movie called The Perfect Weapon. Jeff Speakman. I don't know if you guys know who Jeff Speakman is. He's a Kenpo his master's Jeff. He's like a 7th or 8th degree Kenpo karate. I implore you to go on YouTube and watch Jeff Speakman's. He does these like 6-minute classes, like twitching palm and like buried fist, and anyway, it's explosive, devastating style of karate, right? And anyway, he had a movie back in the day called The Perfect Weapon. I fucking love it. Like I sometimes just throw on like a couple fight scenes from it. He like walks into a fucking dojo because he's looking for the guy who killed his master. He walks into this like Taekwondo dojo. These 3 guys training. And he's like, I'm looking for this guy. And they're like, fuck off, like get out of here. And he's like, I'm looking for this guy. He's got a tattoo on his arm. Like, where can I find him? The guy's like, why don't you get the fuck out of here? And Jeff Speaking looks at the guy. He's like, I wonder if I can kick your ass. He's like, not just you, all 3 of you. And like I always thought about that. I'm like, what a ballsy thing to say. But a guy like that says something to you, and you're like, yeah, you want to go? And it's Jeff Speakman. But you better know how to dance, okay? Because you're gonna get your fucking claw cleaned, right? And it's a movie, yes, but in the realistic sense of it, and we're beating a dead horse here, but it shouldn't happen, and it doesn't need to happen. And my point is, when it happens to my friends, okay, like I respect and like you guys and hold you very dear to me. Like, there's a reason why we gravitate to each other. It really bothers me when I see that. Like you know what I mean? I have a short fuse for that sort of thing, and doesn't need to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think, Jordan, you're right. I think that, Will Smith going up and slapping Chris Rock on fucking national TV and going down and back to his seat and sitting down for the
then
rest
winning a fucking Oscar for it. Michael Jai White. I don't even know who Michael Jai White is. He's, Batman, Dark Knight. Remember the movie Dark Knight, the one with Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
He was the black guy, the mob guy. He's been in a bunch of movies. He's in Van Damme movies. Michael Jai White is a legit martial artist. But somebody was asking him about that. I think it was Michael Jai White, and even Joe Rogan said, okay, if Mike Tyson was doing the monologue at fucking Oscars and made that joke, you think Will Smith would have went up there and slapped him? He fucking went and slapped Chris Rock, a 140-pound fucking, you know what I mean? Like if people think because you're a comedian, you're a comic, you're like them, you're like, oh no, don't do that. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like you were saying, the ever since that Will Smith thing, man.
It's just been you always have to stay on your toes now. It used to be different, right? If somebody didn't like something, they're gonna heckle you from the audience. They're gonna say shit in the audience, and at that point, you can handle it. I find that more it's more reasonable if you're gonna shout some shit, because at least you can kind of either defend yourself or whatever, and nobody's getting physically hurt. Like, if your feelings are hurt, I'm sorry, and we're not intentionally all trying to do that. But when you're going up and you're approaching somebody, you don't know what kind of health conditions they have either. You hit somebody with a neurological issue, and that could be it for them. That could be it, because your feeling was hurt. You've now ended their existence because you got mad at a fucking sentence. Like,
one of the benefits of having a material that's just so stupid, it's about nothing. Like talking about Flintstones and punching guy's dick and stuff. Like I really do kind of I don't add people to my act. I don't want to offend anybody. So there's a very low chance, there's a very slim chance that I'm ever gonna get heckled. Unless someone's like, these are stupid jokes, which I probably agree with. And you handle it on stage properly, right? But I mean, when you're doing crowd work and stuff like that, and like we've seen some comedians who like, hey, motherfucker, like the way they talk to people, and like, I mean, it's harsh, and it'd be hard as a man to be in a crowd with your Jordan. I think you should leave with Tim Robinson, one of those sketches when he's at a magic show and the magician, he's with his wife, and the magician's like making fun of him and then after, like later on that night, he's in bed with his wife, and he's like, "It was a good show," and his wife turns around and she's like, "You're a fucking pussy. He belittled you." Tim Robinson's like, well, anyways, Yeah. Oh, he's so funny. Anyway, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think now comedians should become a comedian, you should take martial arts training, I guess, or some type of self-defense course. And it's a fucking sad world that we're living
your
in.
mentality, man. I was talking about it with a buddy about it last night. Actually, he called me when I got home, and we're just talking about, he's a rugby player, right? And we were talking about, like martial arts and the how your life, how you can, the skills that you get from like sports or being in a club or how you grow up, the skills you get, especially from martial arts, is very much respect, very much confidence, like integrity. You're forced to be humbled and like when I was 17, I did my intro with jiu-jitsu, and the instructor who was doing my intro, I had a martial arts background. I had karate for years. But I remember, like, we're doing and I was like, I could do roundhouse kicks and I could, punch and stuff. And he's like, real good, man. Awesome. Have you done martial arts before? I'm like, yeah, And I'm like, I don't know about this guy. He's like, he's like 5 inches shorter than me. He's, 50 pounds. Like, I don't know, can I take him? By the end of week 1, and you'd have to be a wet brain by the end of week 2 to not think it. But by the end of week 1, I was like, oh my fucking God, like, this guy killed me. And then by like month 1, I'm like, this guy fucking killed me. And then by month 6, you're like, this guy fucking killed me. And then by year 1 and year 5 and year 10, you're like, this guy fucking killed me. And you respect for that person, not on a level that he could kick your ass, but on a level of like, I'm not better than you. I'm you know what I mean? Like, I'm not above you. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? And it's team sports and martial arts. I really do promote it big time for kids, because it does grow your ability to enhance your like muscle memory, enhance your like like your ability to like throw someone, learn how to throw someone and pick them up and throw them. You didn't know how to do it before, but when you're taught how to do it and you pick someone up who's 75 pounds heavier than you, you're like, oh my God, I can do that. And then you learn a wrist lock, or you learn an arm bar, you learn a takedown, and you're like, oh my God, I can do that. And you start to learn, oh, I can do these things. And it becomes a part of your daily life. Like, you're confident to like, I can do this. I just got a fucking piano. I'm like, I can play the piano. Absolutely, I can play the piano. It's so hard. I feel like a white belt who just went into, like, I'm at my first class because it's so difficult. But I know I can play it if I commit to it and figure it out. That's how I was with the guitars. You could have been in my house, 4 or 5 guitars. I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it's something that you get from sports. That like I don't mean to rant on too much, but like when we're gonna have Austin on, one of the questions I was gonna ask him was about hockey players and like professional hockey players in Canada. Like they're seen as our gods, right? But I've always found like pro hockey players, they're a couple years younger than me, the guys I've known, they're very witty. They're very quick. They have, like, you say something, they'll say something right back to you, and like, it's not like, yeah, so like they have something really quick and funny and like that
part of it.
Yeah, like they
part of the sport.
Play the dozens, and it's like, it's like they're seen as like oafs, like, oh, take the puck and put it in the net and score a goaler. But when you have conversations with them, you notice their like their vocabulary and just in their speech and how they talk. And it's like, you think about it, these guys grew up on the ice, getting in front of the net and fighting. Like, we all watch hockey and you see like when the whistle blows and they're all like,
yeah,
like the stuff they fucking say. Like, I've asked Mark a few times, like, what were you guys saying? Like, and like Mark told me once he's some guy in front of the net was like cross-checking him, and like the announcer's like, and they're having words in front of the net. And I'm like, what were you saying? And he's like, I reached over and grabbed him by the jersey and turned him around. Okay, Mark Mathot said this. He's like, I turned him around, and the guy's like, what are you doing? Because Mark's trying to turn the guy around forcefully like this. And he's like, I just want to see who your fucking name was, because who the fuck are you? You know? and anyways, they break it up, and the guys are skating back to the bench, and Mark's skating back there. She said the guy's skating back to his bench, and like just as the guy gets to the bench, he turns out and says, "Fuck you, thought you know who I am," and Mark's just like, "Got him," like in his head, you know what I mean? But like that kind of like they've been locker room with their buddies, you know, like so there's smarts, there's wittiness, you're quick, you're not just fast on skates, you develop these skills, right? So it's pretty interesting. You know, you can talk for hours on it, but I find that the things you get from the things you do and things you're interested in, like comedy, like you're getting the ability to be able to be quick to respond to something. You know, somebody says something to you and you're just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it kind of you learn quickly to be able to be quick on your toes, but with your tongue. If it makes sense, you know.
Yep.
I find it really, really interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting. And you know what? We should give ourselves a round of applause because we went from praise Allah to martial arts to Will Smith, and we ended up with hockey players and Mark Mathot. So what a fucking segment. So
you guys
that was great, man.
I bought
good discussion.
I bought an iPhone charger today because like a 10-foot. So I wanted, like, I had for the longest time a 10-foot cord. So you know the cord that they give you, this fucking thing? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that comes with the iPhone. You're in your bed and you're on your phone and it's plugged in on the floor. It's like the plug is on the floor, right? And so you're confined to only lay one way. And then when your hips get sore, if you're like me, you want to roll over, you either have to pull the fucking cord up or go get a fucking iPhone. Anyway, this thing's like $60, eh? And I'm like, fuck, I'll just go get a new one. So I walk in there today to the Apple store, right? And everybody's like knows everything about, you know, like techie stuff. They know they know everything about phones. And I'm sure you guys go through this many times in your lives. I like walked up to the guy. I was like, I'm looking for a 10-foot cord, and he's like, and he pulls out his like iPad, and he's like, I don't think we have 10-foot. He's like, we have 3 meter long cords, and I'm like, no, that's not long enough. And he's like, oh, well, let me check. And I didn't lay the sarcasm on, like, you know when you retort with something, but you're like, no, I don't think that's gonna be long enough. And he's like, oh, it's like you didn't get it, you know. My mom was at the eye doctor because she's got testicular degeneration, and so she's getting needles, okay, in her eye to like stop the bleeding. And I'm sitting there in the room with my mom because we got to walk around. I'm just blind after. So I'm sitting there, and the doctor comes in, and he's talking to me as well. He's like, so we're gonna have to put her on vitamins. So make sure to get a lot of vitamins in you and stuff. And I'm like, he's like, vitamin A, vitamin B12 is really good. I'm like, what about vitamin I? And he's like, no, but no. And I'm like, I see. So all my responses to him were like, I see. Yeah. Oh, that looks good. It was all I puns, but he wasn't. Yeah. Either he had heard every one of them, but like when I said, what about vitamin I was like, like you gotta laugh at that one, eh? And he wasn't biting on any of the bases. But anyway, we don't have any 10-foot, but we have a 3 meter. Yeah.
Oh, the irony of it all. You know what? We should have this version of Paul every show, man. For somebody who thought, you know, I'm not going to be very good on the show, Paul, you are at your greatest.
Yeah, so, I'll go ahead and get blasted every before every single show now.
There you go. All right. You know what? We gotta move on to Bits That Bite. So if everybody's still with us, let's go to Bits and Bites.
Hi guys, you're watching the Six Nuts podcast live at Ridge Rock.
All right, Bits That Bites. This is where we go around the virtual room and we present a joke or a bit that we've written but never performed on stage before. So this is usually fun. And you know what? We give a yay or a nay, or we give constructive feedback, or some of us, you know, we'll just get in each other's faces and we'll rant at each other. All right. So here we go. Bits That Bites. Who wants to go first? Jordan, if you want to go first, or I can lead it off, whatever you want, man.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go first. I'm playing with one-liners right now just because it's I'm testing something out. I want to be like Dave. So yeah, what's P. Diddy's favorite outdoor activity?
I don't know. What is it?
He likes to play the slip and slide.
Ooh, the slip and slide.
Yeah.
The slip and slide. Freak out. Freak party.
Yeah, buddy.
P. Diddy, Sean Combs.
Ew.
All right. Are we
I'm looking for a.
All right. All right. I'll go next then. All right. This is from the Wacky News Department. Wacky News. I wrote this about a year ago. All right. A California mother of 12 won a $50,000 lottery jackpot thanks to her husband. Instead of buying her preferred tickets, he mistakenly brought home the wrong ones. The woman said, "Finally, a mistake we won't have to feed for the next 20 years."
I think you did that one before.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll do this one then instead. A deer was caught on camera crashing through the window of a Mississippi restaurant during the dinner service. The frantic deer made its way through the restaurant before escaping through the same window. According to reports, the deer left in a huff when it was denied service for not wearing a shirt. One customer was shocked over the incident, stating that he had never witnessed a deer driving a car before. That one bites hard.
I love that they bite. Like it's this is my favorite. This is my favorite segment that we do.
That's what I'm doing.
Go on, eh?
There we go.
Yeah.
Fucking gone.
I don't know if I've ever said this one to you guys before. I can't read for one thing, but there's an idea of like if remember in Home Alone, like when Kevin was like 8 years old, right? and these burglars were coming into his house, right? And he had to like come up with this a plan to defend the house, but from an 8-year-old's perspective, like paint cans and micro machines and tar on the stairs and shit like that, And I was thinking, like, imagine if you were 43 and you had that time to prepare, like, to sabotage and booby trap. Like, what kind of booby traps you would do? And I was thinking about, like, what kind of booby traps would I do? I'm like, probably all the things Kevin would do, but I'd end every one of them with a butt fuck machine. Like, so there'd be micro machines all over the floor, and like he'd slip on the floor and land his back, like, ugh, and then you hook him up to a butt fuck machine.
That's P. Diddy's house, man. That's P. Diddy's Home Alone.
Yes, sir.
Coming through the window,
That's the lotion.
Step on a Christmas ornament, like, my foot, and then his butt. Like, yeah. I can guarantee you this: they probably wouldn't come back to that house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every time you rob the McAllister household, your farts don't make a sound for the next month.
Was that the bit?
That was the bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a lead up to the bit. I'm sorry.
Well, that was, but I mean, like, that was the whole thing that, about, like, if I was 43, what I would do. Like, I used to, I'm like, this isn't a bit, but my brother is 5 years older than me. Like, when I was a kid, man, the shit that I would do to just fuck with my brother, like one time I put Vaseline on his doorknob, his door, okay, of his bedroom door. And then I put shoe polish on the phone, okay? And then I put Vaseline on the other, the inside handle of the door. And back in the day, you used to be able to make your own phone, your house phone ring. You dial 999 and then your phone number, and then it would give you a busy signal, and then you'd hang up.
Yeah.
And then take your hand off the hook, and it would just be battery, so like just clear air, and then hang up, and then the phone would ring. So I was upstairs one day. I'm like, I'm gonna pretend like phone calls for him. So I concocted this whole big plan, and so I make the phone ring, and I like answer him like, "Hello, yeah, he's just downstairs." Like, so my brother could hear him. Like, yeah, he's just downstairs. Hold on, I'll get him. So like my brother could hear me say, "I'm like, Mark, phone," and I like leave his room, but like just shut the door a little bit. So he, like, as I go into my room and I'm in my bed, I'm just like, okay. I hear him come up the stairs, and he opens the door. He's like, freak, and then picks up the phone. He's like, hello, 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 and I'm in the bed. I'm like, he's like, what the fuck? He's like, fuck, Paul, what the fuck is this shit? And then he goes to open the door from the inside, and there's Vaseline again. And he's like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, runs down the stairs, up the other flight of stairs to my room. And and I had my door shut but like locked. And so he goes to the bathroom. As soon as he goes to the bathroom, I took one of my karate belts and tied it around the doorknob and then around the banister so he couldn't get out of the bathroom. And like no wonder the guy fucking beat the shit out of me all the time. But like I'm sitting there like fucking 10 years old, like wondering how to fuck with them. Can you imagine if these guys were breaking into my house, what I do to them, right? So anyway.
All right. That is Bits That Bites. We got one more piece of business to take care of, and that is final thoughts.
Yo, you're watching the Sits Nuts podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe and join us every week.
All right. A special birthday edition for Paul.
Thank you.
Crank it up a little bit. Final thoughts. Jordan, let's start with you. Your final thought for episode 29.
Okay, episode 29. Happy birthday, Paul. Please stick around when we hit end. Okay, don't leave. That's it. Thanks for coming to Cultures last night and celebrating their 1 year anniversary. And, just coming in on your birthday evening. It was really good to see you. Thank you, Dave, for coming and standing by the Six Nuts podcast little booth there. We'll have tons of news about that later on. But yeah, that's it, man. I hope you have a great birthday. Don't do anything too crazy. Maybe take a nap at some point.
I can't wait.
Yeah. That's
right.
it. That's
All
it.
right. Thank you, Jordan. Paul, let's go to you for your final thought on the special Paul Bourgon birthday episode of the Six Nuts podcast.
You guys are great. Thank you. It was my pleasure. Obviously, I was going to come out, and see you guys. I was like, when I saw I guess Monica sent me a couple of pictures of us and then some pictures of just you guys, like next to the table. I'm like, why didn't they want me in that one? But yeah, I was like, are they trying to wean me out of this podcast now? Like, what's going on? What did I do? Yeah. But,
No.
Obviously, I you know what? As soon as I walked in there, Reggie was like, "Oh, look who it is, man, Paul." Like, and it was like, I like when black people like me. Like, yeah, he's awesome, man. I was saying to Colin, he's so good. Like for a guy who's never done stand up, and like that time, I think it was it might have been your show, Jordan. About when he went up and he was like. He's only been doing it once or twice. Like he's only MC'd or whatever. I was amazed when he told me that. He is the gift of gab, eh? But
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'm sorry that it didn't turn out the way that you had planned, but that's my final thought. Thank you for thank you for being a friend.
Oh, of course.
Oh, that brings a tear to your eye.
Thought. I can't believe how many podcasts are rolling out now. Can't believe how many posts I'm seeing now. Not that we started podcasts, I'm not by any stretch of imagination, but like a lot of people are jumping on the.
Who else?
Well, just other comics. Big Rig.
The Big Rig.
Yeah. No, I'm just amazed at it. It's good way to get your name out there.
I don't want to make you guys upset. But I was on a podcast before this one today, but it was for college students. So there's a lot of podcasts going out there, and it's nice to see that people are just taking their creative skills outside of whatever they're doing. And it was nice to help other students. They wanted to have guests on, and they found me. And I said to them, keep doing it, even if it's just for you guys. That's how we started. We just did it for us, right? We wanted to have some fun and have an excuse to talk. I'm like, you never know what kind of guest is gonna pop up on your show, Like,
yeah.
Look, we had Cody Lightning, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I told my cousin Maggie, Colin's sister, last night, because if you haven't heard it, you guys have heard it. Like, I turned around, I'm like, because Macca had Lyme disease, eh? Our buddy Macca, and I turned to Maggie. I'm like, I wanted to start my own podcast. We're talking about the effects of Lyme disease on the human body, and I wanted to call it TikTok. And she fucking laughed. as someone who's never heard it before, but I love to drop that to like a new ears. You know what I mean? I know it's gonna be a good one. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. My final thought. Happy birthday, Paul, my friend. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks. Man.
My last two final thoughts are praise Allah and fuck the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah. Fuck the Sabres, Glenn. Fuck the Sabres.
Fuck the Sabres. That's all for now. We will see you all when? Next time.
Next time.